Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, I'm sure you've been hearing a lot of stuff in your news about bird flu lately. I heard it on my news app this morning about animal sanctuary where most of their big cats have died because of bird flu. And there are no human cases yet, so we're safe for now, but there's lots of cross contamination, there's lots of animal cases happening, and it's only a matter of time, I would say, before the jump gets made and where humans get infected. And once that happens, it's downhill from there. It's a cascade effect where they'll give it to someone else, it'll keep spreading unless you can quarantine that patient zero fast. We might have another pandemic on our hands. And that's not to be this sort of panicky person. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope we can get this under control. But a lot of this is coming from a group of quote unquote health conscious people who are very adamant on getting their milk from specific sources, these raw milk type of people. For the longest time, I was confused as to what raw milk meant. I just assumed that milk was raw until you used it in a recipe. Like if you bake it in a cake, yeah, you need raw milk for that because you pull it out of the fridge and that's what makes it raw. But raw milk means it wasn't pasteurized. And I know that's a weird word, but if you didn't learn about that in school, basically pasteurization means that you're making the milk clean. It comes from an animal. We disinfect it by getting it just hot enough. And then we do that a couple of times, like we loop it around like that. But it gets it so all the germs that are inside the milk aren't there anymore. And there's a lot of it, you know. We're not really supposed to drink that stuff. If you think about it for too long, it is pretty weird that we're drinking milk the way that we do. No other animal on the planet drinks milk past its infancy, and definitely no other animal on Earth is drinking the milk of other species. Now, this isn't some vegan rant at you. I'm not telling you how to have your diet. I love cheese and I love butter, so I'm not going to be leading this charge onto vegan living right now. I think if you're going to make a choice between wanting to be healthy by drinking raw milk or wanting to be healthy by cutting out dairy altogether, cutting out dairy is going to be the healthier alternative for you. Drinking raw milk just costs more money for a higher chance of disease. Now, all the reports out of this animal sanctuary seem to show that this cross contamination did happen because of raw milk consumption, or they sourced it to a farm that was selling raw milk to the public, and that's how they bridge that gap. That's where they're explaining where this came from. Personally, I don't have any issue with that. When I drink milk in my house, if it's for a recipe, I'll usually get whole milk for that. For my coffee or cereal or stuff like that, though, I drink oat milk, and that's just a calorie counting thing. I'm not a big taste person on that stuff. I probably could blind taste test it and tell you which is which, but it just doesn't make that much of a difference to me. If you know anybody who's doing this raw milk stuff and they claim it's this health booster or that's why you have to do it because like somehow pasteurization is either putting the bad chemicals into it or taking the good chemicals out of it, I would ignore that person moving forward. They're not someone you should get health advice from. Even if it's someone who looks like they're physically in good shape, I know lots of people give Robert Kennedy his chops because he's, got visible abs and a low body fat percentage in his age, but, anybody can get on a stack of tea and get in really good shape like that, and that doesn't mean that you're healthy. And certainly ignoring centuries old cleanliness practices that won Louis Pasteur a Nobel Prize isn't a healthy thing. You might as well stop washing your hands because you can't see the germs. But we're trying to give a cabinet position to a man who said he doesn't wash his hands for the same reason, so who knows? Maybe this will just be the most anti-science administration we've ever seen. It's certainly chalking itself up to seem that way. But all I can say is, if you're going to drink milk, just buy the normal stuff off the shelf, save your money, and save your health. It'll do you better in the long term. And if you're going to drink raw milk, if you're going to source it from a local farm, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you for it. But don't let them bust your head and buy it in a grocery store for $20 for a half gallon. That's crazy, and you're smarter than that. But until we see more news about this, until we see what sort of longer lasting effects this could cause on the public, y'all try to have a good day.